go subscribe to twitch.tv/Zephyrly. Did I hear that she currently has 30% off commissions right now? This is one of her themes. You should go to PokéRogue put out their official roadmap, instead of everybody guessing what it's going to be. And I wanted to review it because I saw some interesting things on it that I kind of wanted to talk about. After playing about 400 hours, over 400 hours now of PokéRogue, I've been very vocal in a lot of videos. I want to see if their roadmap kind of lines up with the stuff that I'm looking for. So their highest priority, which means actively worked on in some fashion, modifiers item sister refactor. I like that they are opening up to being flexible with items that they're creating and a better item table functionality. This is something I have been complaining about a lot. I'm getting 3 Pokeballs in my Wave 190 plus thing still. The balancing of certain items just feel very off. I still think it's very jank with certain meta items that we get at different times and how that kind of can really bungle a run. And can also really restrict your flexibility because the amount of luck that you would need to get and sometimes is just very, very extended and feels very exhausting. Unlike other games where if they're a faster run, at least you know you're going to be unlucky, so you don't have to worry too much about that bad luck. Your run will be over, and you can jump into another run and just go from there. I don't want to keep rolling the first 40, 50 runs to try and increase my odds of finding a Dynamax band or stuff like this. So I'm excited what they mean by this. Completing the move and ability implementations, I know that's what they're trying to do, and I'm glad that they are. I know it's going to be something that they should just always be working on anyways. So it's nice to see that it's of their highest priority, but I'm really excited about the better item table functionality, what types of items they're going to create, because I think Mystical Rock, for example, is a very, very good item for the game, and just actually ties into a mechanic that I'd like to see be given more love, so that's cool. Biome rework, though, this is also enormous. I have been saying that the biomes do feel very restricted, especially with the map problem, where just not being guaranteed the map sucks. And I'm amazed that we still don't start or acquire a map guaranteed, as has been evident from my randomizer nuzlocke attempts of PokéRogue, of which I've won one of. Not because of a map thing, but map definitely contributes to challenge runs and gives you control over what you want to farm and what you want to play against on the day, and opens up more creative ideas. So just from a challenge perspective and from just a gameplay perspective, I'm extremely happy to see the obtainment of the map after a first classic win is nice. Although I'm kind of weirded out that you have to win first without the map. I don't see why. It's a PvE game, but at least we're going to have a map. Every Pokemon will be in at least 2 biomes unless they're special. That's good to hear. Significantly more type and encounter variety in each biome, which is great because we have a ton of Pokemon. It'd be nice to see much different and not just always be like, hey, this biome is just on average easier than the other, because there are some biomes that are just way easier. And on top of that, there are a lot of Pokemon you don't ever get to see because you can never get to these biomes, such as, like, Ice Cave in the first few levels. You never get to see, like, first stage Pokemon of Snorunt and stuff like this unless you take a time machine. And we were just talking about in chat where it would be cool to have a mode where you just have a random starting location instead of always starting in the grass. Like, it would be nice to actually be sent out and just have a random start point that you could do. Like, that could be something you unlock with Classic. And then just kind of keep going through and having fun like that. But, you know, it's going to be nice to hopefully see more biomes here. They're adding 5 new biomes too, which is nice. They're merging things. They're removing Dojo, merging Factory and Laboratory, renaming other things. So they're going to be cleaning up the biome. And I do think that should open up to just more diversity, but also make it easier for people to farm up for unlocking things, because there's so much to unlock in this game. Dynamically changing rarities based on wave. That makes sense. Placement of all gym leaders and random trainers, adjusting most random trainers. Sure. High priority. More of a planning phase. Major AI improvements. Trainer team generation, I think, is the biggest one. We were just saying, like, gym trainers are very the gym leaders are very predictable, but the trainers in the wild just have completely different teams all the time, which is cool. So I'm hoping we're going to get some more interesting like this. Improved wild evolutions, I don't know what that actually means. But AI improvements in internal settings. Maybe certain trainers will go back to like how gamblers would always prioritize using Oko moves. And maybe we'll see a little bit of different things, like certain trainers prioritize using status moves or using these, like using a very specific strategy. So that'd be cool. Moveset generation as well. Because, you know, the number of times I've seen Ivy's water-type starter have Focus Punch is kind of weird. But it's good to see they're going to be looking at that. Miscellaneous priority. This one is very, very nice. And it's kind of tied to another one down here, if I can... Is it in the same one here? Okay, so adjustable IVs on starter select. This is something that I saw and thought was strange, but I would... I would say this is a great change, because something I noted really early on when playing PokéRogue was, oh, because you only get to keep your highest IVs, because a lot of people are like, oh, higher IVs is better. Well, not always, because Trick Room, you want 0 speed IVs, right? Hidden Power, you want to change your IVs up so you can actually use Hidden Power. Otherwise, you're always just going to have a base, like when you have perfect IVs, you're going to have a base 70 Dark, I think it is. And you can't hit HP Ice or anything like that. You have to drop one of your HVs by 1, or IVs by 1. So it is strange that we're not allowed to modify them. And even then, again, opens up for more challenge ideas, some kind of incentive for yourself, like these types of things. So overall, I think adjustable IVs on starter select is very, very smart. I think it just means that you can experiment with some of those strategies that I was talking about, right? It also means that your Pokemon can stay slower for other moves like Metal Burst and Comeuppance. So just because you're grinding them up and they're getting stronger doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be actually losing some functionality as a result of you being stronger. You kind of feel punished for it, when that's not how you would generally use that Pokemon to begin with. So, in a simulator, I like this. Improved in-game gender systems. This has been something people have been asking for a long time, especially the non-binary player and rival. And then rival gender separated from player gender. This is just a very good quality of life and inclusivity thing. I think this is actually very important, because it was a talking point and an argument point that caused a lot of community tension. So it would be nice, and I know there were some things going on with the artists and everything like that, so there is an understandable factor coming in. So it's nice to see it. They're recognizing that this is still a planned thing, and that hopefully, even though it's miscellaneous priority, they're just saying, like, most likely it's going to be when the artists are ready, we'll have that going, and it's still in the plans. So nice of them to recognize it. A true shop system. So this is interesting. Not replace the current wave system. Hopefully it'll add a little bit more to what you can do with your money. Maybe, I mean, I definitely can tell you at the end of certain runs, unless I'm just rolling nonstop to try and find X items or final cleanup items, I do have a lot of money in good runs. Not in all runs, but in good runs, I'll generally have tens of thousands of dollars that I just haven't spent. So maybe this will allow us to think a little bit harder about how we spend our money and make more decisions during the 10 waves. That'd be cool. I don't mind this. Some of them are really good. Some of them are really shit. Like really, really shit. Especially with, again, some of the modes. But I do hope that they try to balance out some of them. There are definitely ones that I just despise seeing every single time. Like the G-Max Garbodor. Or the free vitamin guy. Because he's a waste of money depending on where you find him. And taking his riskier thing could just be really, really bad, so yeah. Enhanced Pokemon with the full learn sets. Moves removed from their Gen 8 or 9 learn sets. Sure, that could be fun. Integrate mainline egg moves. Mid-run shop system will not have to unlock the moves. That's kind of cool. That could just add more decisions and more things for you to play around with. Luck and Pokerus rework. Oh, I didn't know that. Luck increase based on certain requirements. I don't think we needed to touch the luck factor in the game, because luck is just a bonus collector thing. That is a bizarre choice to say as a miscellaneous thing. Rework PokéRogue egg moves to rogue moves. Available for money mid-run for any mon, starter, or not if unlocked. That's kind of neat. Universal values. Yeah, that could be very fascinating. Adjust the move-up voucher machine accordingly. Good, because that machine, in my opinion, is a waste of your time. Truly. I truly think it's a waste of your time. Alternate final bosses for new or reworked game modes below. I hope this actually means we are getting variety in the end game, because that is the biggest thing that I hear from anyone who comes through my community and talks about why they stopped playing PokéRogue, is because they got tired of Mega Ray and Eternatus, and frankly, bestie, same. I'm tired of Mega Ray and Eternatus. It's super just clogs up your team with always using the same strategies, or using very similarly looking strategies. I understand it's still Pokemon, so like strong moves are the best, or status moves are going to be OP, but like it would be nice to see these sort of different challenges. So I'm hoping this spills over into classic mode as well, or we're going to have a new challenge mode that makes us feel like, hey, we're actually getting a different experience every single time. So that special encounter at wave 100 could be a nice little way to let you prep in the second half, which is something that is also very necessary if you're going to start putting in that diversity. It's similar to, like Slay the Spire's the easiest example, where you see the boss before you're going through the act, so you know if you want to adjust your deck or what you want to do to your deck to help you out with that. Having that visual clarity is very helpful. Endless rework, yeah, Trainers and Mystery Encounters makes a lot of sense. Remove tokens. Like, Endless has been a mess for a while, so it's good to see that they've just kind of clarified that it's like, yeah, Endless is just going to be very, very different now. So that's nice. And then they have other modes here, like Double Classic, sure, Spliced Classic, sure. That's neat, right? Like, Spliced Classic is cool. I actually do think that could be fun. And a fun little, like, way to randomize it up. That's similar to playing Infinite Fusion. That should be a good way to go about it. Battle Factory Adjacent mode is actually really exciting. Only trainer battles, that seems like a longer mode, but definitely one that will be exciting for people to build around. And then Classic Plus. Requires many progression and substantial mechanic features to be completed before work can begin with that. Yes. And then other things they have here, animation uplifts, adjustable party positions. That would be huge. Yeah. Little bit. So you no longer have to, like, throw your team around in weird ways just to get someone to be in the second slot. That would be nice. I don't know about you, but just kind of putting this, like, in the random of just other additions, this feels way more important to me than, yeah, it'll be there with finishing variants and finishing visual updates. Like, this does not feel like an additional update. This feels like, yeah, maybe it's not high priority, but here are notables that will, I don't know, significantly change the way a lot of runs and a lot of modes and the creativity of the modes. Because remember, we're not just thinking about, you don't need to move them around, but it sure as hell is a very nice feature to be able to move things around between waves. That would be an incredibly nice feature, so that double modes and everything like that, or just planning around lures, so more mechanics of your game would actually get attention and not feel so bad. Let's talk about this pre-run progression shop. And this is also going to tie in to now this luck system. The various buffs and modifiers for your run that are permanent unlocks, right? You won't be able to have everything usable at once. You're basically going to have to choose a pool of things to upgrade your run. On top of a new currency, potential for upgrades for certain items, and then extra Pokeball types will go here for standard balls and stuff like this. This sounds cool to me. I also absolutely hate it. This game already stomps on your nuts when it comes to your time playing as a video gamer in PokéRogue. There is so much shit you have to unlock your Pokemon-wise, and so many things that have to go right in order for you to get the right items and a good run going, in order for you to get to the point where it's getting boring. And my concern is, this is going to start looking like a gacha game. Even more of a gacha game, where we're going to have multiple currencies, multiple pieces that we're going to have to unlock, And as a result, the game is going to be purposefully nerfed in order for it to be a good challenge to newer players, or even an even harder challenge to newer players. And it's just going to make people who voted, yes, the game is too easy now that I have all the moves and all the shinies, it's just going to be another thing for them to grind up. Now, does this affect new players? I don't actually know what they're going to do when they say that, you know, like, certain modifiers will come in here. So yeah, some of these will become bonuses and probably don't need to be unlocked for you to enjoy PokéRogue. I'm just hoping it doesn't send them down a path where they start building the game around meta progression being... Because they already said, like, Classic Plus will be the thing that they say you need to unlock a lot of things in order for you to play this mode. I just don't see why we need more and more things to unlock to keep people playing the game. I don't know if that's... People who have told me they've quit is because they got bored of the same loop. More game modes fix that. Diverse endgames fix that. Right? Diversity, not more meta progression. That's my opinion anyways. So, splitting up luck to make it affect different things and now be different ways for you to acquire said luck, and now giving, like, a player like me who has every Pokemon unlocked, give me another thing to do. Like, this is fine for me, but I think about the players who quit and may want to come back when more content is added. I don't think that's what you add. I think you need to show them it's like, you can play the same loop, but the loop is going to be different. It's going to require more things. It's going to require a different way for you to think about it. And then, if you want to keep challenge runners engaged, you give us challenge runners more things to play around with, right? The random button was just a nice start that we could have done ourselves, but you added the random button, so you made that easier for us. Nuzlocking modes, like we with the release button, everything like that. Looking at Endless now being said that they're going to be modifying that and improving that system. Those are good changes. I don't think this is necessary. I don't think it's bad. I really hope this isn't a way, or it's turned into a way to just make people play for longer, because it's already a big complaint that I've seen from a couple of other creators and a lot of community members that pass through here saying, we don't like hearing, or we don't like seeing that there's 1,000 of something we have to get overall. Some people like that. I just don't think that enhances a game. Overall, I'm really excited for some of these changes. I think some of them are long overdue. I really hope that the items in the biomes get cleaned up. I really hope the mystery encounters get cleaned up. This true shop system seems very fascinating. The inclusivity is nice. This is a very interesting feature. I am very excited about this, though. I'm hoping that this comes sooner than later. It's the highest priority, so that excites me.